Welcome back to the First Off, in my opinion, podcast.
You know how we do.
Tom Swoop.
All right, what are your thoughts on mandatory birth control for people on public assistance?
The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. What I don't understand with women that have the first kid out of wedlock, and again, I could be biased because I don't have any children. What's different the second, third, fourth, fifth time that you get pregnant by another man that you didn't comprehend and catch on that I'm going to be a single mother? Right. Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, why do they continue to add more and more stress upon themselves? So I think it should be mandatory birth control because I'm a taxpayer.
The idea of somebody on public assistance who don't got their shit together having a kid, should they, like, would the world be a better place if they couldn't have a child? Maybe. How many people at this table wouldn't be here if that was
correct?
I wouldn't be here.
I wouldn't be here.
Would you be here?
I would be here.
You would be here.
I'm a bastard child.
So you're on a podcast by yourself.
No, although my mom and dad did get married not like 9 months after I was here, but I was
taking a right to have a child from someone, and it's just like how many great people
At what
that
point
have contributions to this world
but
wouldn't
then,
be here.
But then you think about it, Terry, it's like we have so many rights in this country. And some of those rights are impeding on our future.
That's facts.
The United States of America spends somewhere around $7 to $9 billion a year on teenage pregnancy. 68% of all teenage pregnancy always lead to a second pregnancy.
Yes.
So with that said, all the problems we have with education, all the problems we have with childcare, infrastructure, resources, all of these things are starting to be tied to these rights that we have.
Birth control should be free, period.
I thought it was.
That's it. No, it's not.
When I was coming up, we just went to Planned Parenthood and got it.
It's not free.
My mom put us on birth control at 15, and I wasn't even having
Birth
sex.
control should be free, period. Sex education should be free, period. I don't care if you're poor. I don't care if you're rich. I don't care what's going on. Everyone is getting pregnant. The only thing is you hear about it more that poor people of color are getting pregnant. White people get pregnant just like everybody else.
Yeah.
They just go over to different countries and get their abortions. They just have long summers, or they just have their doctor claim it to be a miscarriage so that they can have illegal abortion. Most teenage girls get pregnant. This is
It's just
the
not the
biggest
black
this is the biggest cover up in America. Is the biggest myth in America. Most teenage girls get pregnant. To actually say because you're poor, you're not allowed to have a baby is one of the most elitist things in the world. It is a human right to have a child. The fact that having a child has become so unaffordable is a horrible American thing. It should not be that way.
But is it practical?
Yeah, but I don't even think it's necessary. My opinion on it doesn't have anything to do with the financial part of it. I just think people are raising these children that have no business raising kids.
All right, so
Fucking is free.
too funny.
And fucking is free. And most of the time when people don't have a
Fucking
job,
it's free.
when they don't have a job,
You don't
they
pay for
have-
some pussy?
You don't.
Long story.
You don't help them get a job. You don't help them go to school. You don't help them provide for themselves. What can you do in your free time?
Yeah.
You out here humping. And what happens with humping? You get laxed and you get pregnant. People that are married get pregnant on accident. It is just human nature.
Have y'all ever seen the documentary Waiting for Superman?
No, I need to watch
All
that.
right, so-
Was that on Amazon or something?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I'm
So
looking into that.
in that documentary, remember like in the early 90s, crime dropped by like 18% across the country, right? And so all these police people were taking credit and saying, you know, we've done these new police initiatives and we've done this, you know, crime is down, these programs are running. I can't remember, it was a Harvard scientist or whatever, he did some research, and what it was is, if you go back to Roe versus Wade, that was the first generation of the abortions. So the people who would have grown up and committed crime never existed.
Correct.
So crime dropped by like 18% across the country
Because of abortions. Interesting.
And so now you say, and you look at this saying, we say, okay, mandatory birth control for people on public assistance. What else would drop in that generation? And then what would increase? So when you look at the strain
black
of
population
resources,
would drop.
right now, childcare is super expensive.
Right.
Everything costs so much, so many people to feed. Let's say you reduce the population in 18 years by 13%. There's more resources.
Correct.
the price goes down. It's a long question because it's a lot of variables.
Will the price go down in this capitalistic society though? Will they really drop the price?
Because the thing is, you can't raise the price on people who don't exist. If you were to say right now, mandatory birth control for all people on public assistance.
But why does it have to be mandatory? Why does it have to be specific to people?
I'm gonna just use it as a finality just to illustrate the end of the question. So you do that now. And let's say last year there were 550,000 births from, people on public assistance. You institute this plan. That 550 goes away in 1 year. 2 years, that's over 1 million. 3 years, that's 1.5 million. You see what I'm saying? The people start to decline off of the services. So now the services still have the same resources to do other things. Now you can put 2 teachers in a classroom. You can put computers in the classroom. You can, educate people on sexual education. You can do all these things because you've diverted the money for people who don't exist anymore.
I got 2 things. So one is, I think before we get there, we should just do right by the people that are here. So like, we're not even putting enough money in education as is, as far as
because we're over. It's over.
It's because we don't want to.
We just
the public school system.
Don't get me wrong. If we can send Ukraine billions of dollars,
you can put it into your school system.
we can put a laptop in PS 29.
It's just systematic shit to where schools are funded based on like homeowners taxes and shit like that. Like why though? You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm in a up area and the property taxes are low, and my school is underfunded, I'm gonna get out this neighborhood with a poor education.
Correct.
Anyway, so that's intentional. Yeah. So it's like that's because why wouldn't the state just all fund everybody evenly? You get what I'm saying? So it's like we could do right about the people who are actually here,
or even a baseline for
that would bring some crime down. But then on the flip side of that, what could go wrong if you're poor, you can't have a child, your family is gonna die off. Period.
Correct.
So we're gonna be left with people who are middle class, upper class. Someone has to be a lower class for to be upper class. So what happens to those?
I'm not saying you just can't be on public assistance. We can't be financing bad decisions. And literally, I'm in childcare. I've literally had a 24-year-old with 8 kids.
Then what is the point of public assistance?
Jesus.
It need to be public assistance with education. It need to be public assistance with restrictions.
Yeah.
It literally is out of control.
So public assistance, there's no solution-based programs for them.
Would it be a better idea to just get rid of public assistance than to tell people?
No, because there's people that really
It's people who really need. And the thing is, I actually think public assistance need to be expanded. I think young families who are doing what they're supposed to do but can't afford to, moms who are staying home because they can't afford to go to work because childcare costs too much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It actually need to be reevaluated.
Yeah, because even CCMS, you have to be single and you have to put your baby daddy on child support in Texas in order to even qualify for child care. You literally have to. That's crazy to me.
And isn't that the amount of money that you can make?
I think you can't make over $25,000 or something.
$7 an hour
to even to qualify for CCMS.
So, if you want to go ahead and get a grown-up job, so you can get off.
Yeah, you can't.
Your job won't even allow you enough money to get yourself and your kids.
Yeah,
I've had parents.
I can't work at all.
Yeah,
I've had parents who literally have worked their way up, got a promotion at work. You now the supervisor. You make $17 an hour. I can't take the job because that $17 an hour means now I have to pay for childcare.
Correct.
So now
I'm
actually
kick you off
in the hole.
Off CCMS.
Yes, I'm now in the hole. All that money, that $7 raise for being the supervisor, that's nothing. Now I make $6 an hour now when you put in my childcare fees.
That's right. That's right.
And that's why I say we're using too much of the money on a bad problem that I honestly think we can fix. Now, it does sound extreme, and I probably sound barbaric for even bringing it up. And I know the comments right now are going to be jumping.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, we need to start working on real solutions. And sometimes the solutions when it comes to rights are hard.
A child is.
It don't feel good either.
A child is crazy.
But
They do that in Japan,
it's
though,
not
right?
hard. Because
I think the limit in Japan is 2.
Yeah, you can only have 2 kids.
Yeah.
I think
it's because of
other
population,
countries
though.
Yeah, Japan be like, no.
Yeah, you
get
can't
2.
have.
That's it.
Yeah.